With the sun just peeking over the mountain right there and what's happening out here on the water, how should you use the sun in your fishing? How should you use the sun in your fishing? Okay, our scripture today is from 1 Corinthians 3:9. I love this one a lot. We are God's workers. Working together, you are like God's farm. Like God's farm. Here in Oklahoma, we'd say God's ranch. God's house. We are God's workers. Working together, you are like God's farm, God's house. Here's what I wrote about that. And this is just really, really personal. I have almost as much fun managing my fishing lakes as I do actually catching fish. I spend a lot of time making the fishing better, the fish bigger, the fish more productive. Beautiful piece of water. We fertilize, we feed, we build spawning beds, we haul shad, we add cover. We do whatever it takes to improve all aspects of the lake. We try to make the water better all the time. We add shad every year, we add crawfish, we add tilapia. We work on this piece of water and the other piece of water we have here all the time to make it better. They've got a big word for that nowadays. It's called conservation. We just love doing it. This is making what God gave us better. Shouldn't we get just as excited about working for the God who has done so much for us? Together, we feed, love, teach, forgive. We can lift up, encourage, and improve everyone around us. Let me go through that list again. Together, we can feed, we can love, we can teach, we can forgive, we can lift up and encourage, and improve everyone around us. We can do that because that's work that God does. So we can do God's work, like we're cultivating His farm. We can and should make a difference for God every single day of our lives. The most amazing thing is that when we make a difference for God, He makes an even bigger difference in each of us. That's the God that we serve. He's here to make us better day by day by day. If He'd have wanted us perfect in the first place, He'd have created us that way. But He didn't. He created us imperfect, and with that in mind, He's working in us to perfection, which one day He'll accomplish that. One day we will be perfect. Here's our tip for today, and it's a great one right now because we've got long shadows here. Fish into the sun whenever possible to avoid casting a shadow. Now, if you're going to fish into the sun, obviously that requires some good sunglasses because you're going to be looking into the sun and you're going to need it. But you want the shadows behind you, just like I've got them right now. You want to be looking into the sun out there as opposed to fishing into the sun, because if I turn around and want to fish this way, I'm fishing into my own shadow that I'm casting on the water. And I promise you, without a shadow of a doubt, no pun intended, that will scare the fish. It absolutely does scare the fish. You cast a shadow on the water, I've seen fish move because of it, especially if you're fishing in shallow water. Even if you're out in deeper water and the water's clear, if your shadow hits that water, it's probably not going to be a place where you're going to catch a fish. So fish into the sun whenever possible. Guys and girls, go out there and have you a great one today. Make a difference in somebody's lives. In fact, you can just pray that prayer. I pray that prayer all the time. Lord, let me make a difference in somebody's life today. And I promise you, God will make a difference in your lives. Guys and girls, have you a great one out there today. We're about to end this month. Remember, I love you.